I know it might be a little too early, probably even way too early to release a video like this, but I think I have an idea of what the final 53-man roster is going to look like. Of course, I still believe there's going to be a few tweaks in there, like for example, the Texans might sign a guy who gets cut by, I don't know, let's say the Patriots or Saints that doesn't end up making his team. So it's quite possible that, the back end of the roster could change, or maybe even the front end. You never know. Now, some of these guys I'm going to skim over, like the obvious players that are obviously going to make the team. So let's start off with the offense. Quarterback, Deshaun Watson. I mean, he's going to make the team, obviously. And then you got his backup, A.J. McCarron. Now, Joe Webb. I think he's on the roster bubble. He could make the team, but he also couldn't. I decided to keep Joe Webb on the team solely based on the fact that Joe Webb, he's a third-string quarterback. He can play a little receiver, even though he's not good at it, but, emergency, and he plays special teams. I think, you guys hate to hear it. I hate to hear it somewhat. Versatility. I think versatility in starters, it kind of sucks. I think if you're a starter, you should be good at what you do. But for a backup, I think versatility is fine. And I think Joe Webb fits that mold. And I think he will make the team just because of that. Emergency situations. Like what happens if, I don't know, God forbid, all our wide receivers go down again. Or, Deshaun goes down, then A.J. McCarron goes down. Then what are we going to do? Put Titus Howard at quarterback? I think it's one of those situations. I think Joe Webb makes the team because of that. Let's move on to the running back. I got Lamar Miller obviously making the team. Deontay Foreman obviously making the team. Have been hearing amazing things about Foreman. Hopefully keeps it up. Now, I think there's only 2 guaranteed running back spots. I think we're going to carry 4. I think Buddy Howell is on the bubble, but I think he'll make the team. I think he'll be the 3rd running back on the team, similar to Alfred Blue. How he was, before Foreman got hurt. I think Buddy Howell will be that special teamer. And I think Karan Higdon makes the team as well. I think he's going to be one of those guys that makes the team. Doesn't really see any playing time. And you know how I talked earlier about the Texans possibly signing veteran players that get cut that don't make their teams. I think Karan Higdon could be one of those guys that gets cut to make room for a veteran running back that gets cut, or a rookie running back that looks better than him gets cut, Now, fullback, Cullen Gillespie, he's going to make the team. He can block, play special teams. He's a special teams specialist. You guys saw our special teams take a leap forward last year, going from one of the worst special teams units in the league to one of the better ones. Now you add in Cullen Gillespie, and then it could get so much better. Cullen Gillespie is the guy with high energy. He's going to specialize in special teams. You're going to see him out there flying around, making plays. He's going to make an impact in the red zone. So I think Gillespie is guaranteed a spot on the roster. So the Texans in total are going to carry 5 backs. Lamar Miller, Foreman, Buddy Howell, Karan Higdon, and Cullen Gillespie. That's the typical number they usually carry. They like to carry a bunch of running backs for whatever reason. I mean, I think in 2017 they had 6. So, yeah, 5 running backs isn't really surprising. Now, here's where things get a little bit tricky. Most teams don't carry 4 tight ends. It's just it's something that doesn't happen. A normal team carries 3 tight ends. So I got Jordan Akins, Kahali Waring being the guys that are guaranteed a roster spot. However, even though I'm not a big fan of Akins was a 3rd-round pick from last year, I think he's also guaranteed a roster spot. They signed Darren Fells this offseason. A cheap contract, but they still signed him. And I think he's going to make the team. However, I think if one tight end does get cut, it'll probably be Darren Fells, because I just refuse to believe that they're going to cut a former 3rd-round pick from a year ago in Akins. So I think 4 tight ends make the team. However, I do think Darren Fells is in the bubble. Now, the reason why I say that is if Kahali Waring throughout training camp and preseason when their pads are on, if he can show the ability to block, I could probably see Darren Fells getting cut, because Darren Fells was brought in here to be a blocker. Now let's move on to the offensive line, starting off with the offensive tackles. Max Sharping, Titus Howard, guaranteed spots on the team. I mean, first round pick from this year, second round pick from this year. They're making the team. The next guy who I think has a guaranteed spot is Julian Davenport. Julian Davenport was supposed to be a 3-year project. This is year 3, so this is Davenport's make or break it year. He has a chance to start. He's probably going to be the starter early on, and he's either going to suck or he's going to end up being good. And if he ends up being good, that'd be the biggest plot twist ever. Because I mean, let's be honest, none of us here are expecting Julian Davenport to be good. So yeah, I still think he makes the team though. Now I also think Shantro Henderson makes the team, but I do think he's on the bubble. I think he could get cut, but I do think he's going to make the team. He'll probably end up being the starting right tackle from week 1. Now, I know some people are going to say, what about Matt Khalil? He's getting cut. He's not good. He's getting cut. Guards, Martinez Rankin, Zach Fulton, and Sunil Kalemeti are all easily making the team. I know I've seen some people that want to cut Zach Fulton for whatever reason. Zach Fulton's our best offensive lineman. He's not getting cut. Sunil Kalemeti is not getting cut because, like I said earlier with Joe Webb, versatility. Even though Sunil Kalemeti is not a good starting left guard, guess what? Sunil Kalemeti can play left guard, center, right guard, and right tackle. That's what you want in a backup. A backup that can play a bunch of spots. If you're a starter, don't even talk about versatility with me. You should be good at what you do. If you're a backup, you better be versatile to make the team. And I think that's how Sunil Kalemeti makes the team. Center, Nick Martin, Greg Manx, guaranteed spots. Now let's move on to wide receiver. DeAndre, Will Fuller, Kiki QT. They have their guaranteed spots. DeAndre Carter, I think he has his guaranteed spot as Kiki's backup, and he's also a returner. He's a pretty good returner too. Obviously, he had those fumbles issues early on when we first signed him, but he corrected that, didn't fumble, I think, after like his 3rd game, so I think that's very, very good. I think he's going to get a spot on this team. Now, the last wide receiver, because I think we'll carry 5, I think it's going to be Vincent Smith. I think Vincent Smith makes the team. I think last year, towards the end of the season, I did get pissed off at him because he didn't know where to line up in the playoffs. But I think he'll learn from that. I think he'll get the playbook down because, in my opinion, Vincent Smith, if developed properly, can be the perfect guy for Will Fuller. Like, if Will Fuller gets hurt, Vincent Smith can do what Will Fuller can do. All Vincent Smith has to do is, know the playbook, know where to line up, and refine his route running. Because Vincent Smith, he's a burner, he's a guy, he's a deep threat. He could get upfield quick. He has decent hands. And you guys saw that Eagles game, what he can do. Like, he can take the top off of defense. And he knows how to keep his feet in bound too. So, I see him making the team. However, I do think he's on the bubble. I think the guy that might, give him some competition is Tyron Johnson, rookie undrafted wide receiver from Oklahoma State. I've been hearing nothing but good things about this guy. He did good in rookie minicamp. He did good he's doing good right now in OTAs. But this is OTAs. Wait till the pads come on. What's going to happen in minicamp? What's going to happen in training camp? Preseason. I'm not sure if Tyron Johnson can keep up the momentum that he's been building since rookie minicamp. I'm not sure if he can do that, and in my opinion, Tyron Johnson is pretty much Vincent Smith without NFL experience. That's how I see it. So I think Vincent Smith edges out Tyron Johnson here. And the reason why I don't have 6 wide receivers on the team is because we're already carrying 4 tight ends, so I don't think we're going to carry yet another pass catcher. So, yeah. Now let's move on to the defense. At edge rusher, I got J.J. Watt, obviously. Jadeveon Clowney, yes, Jadeveon Clowney is playing this season. Just because Jadeveon Clowney's not showing up to OTAs doesn't mean Jadeveon Clowney will not play this season. What Clowney's doing right now is just routine for a guy that got franchise tagged. It's what they do. They don't want to get hurt during OTAs, training camp, and all that stuff, and then they get hurt, they end up having a lower contract than what they're actually worth. So Clowney's just trying to avoid all that garbage. So, Clowney's playing this season. And then we got Whitney Merciless, also guaranteed a roster spot. And I think even Brendan Scarlett is guaranteed a roster spot because he's a good edge defender. Maybe not a, good edge rusher, but he does stop the run from the edge. And he can also play inside linebacker. We saw it last year whenever Zach Cunningham and Dylan Cole both went down. Brendan Scarlett had to fill in there. He's a good run thumper, so I think he's guaranteed a spot there. Now, interior defensive lineman, DJ Reader, guaranteed a spot. Charles Omenihu, guaranteed a spot. Angelo Blackson, guaranteed a spot. Brandon Dunn, guaranteed a spot. Carlos Watkins, guaranteed a spot. And I think the guy on the bubble, I think the guy that will be left out is Joel Heath. I think Joel Heath could possibly be traded because I do think he has little trade value. Like I've said before in other videos, the Texans are a breeding ground for defensive linemen. I think Joel Heath might be on the way out due to the addition of Charles Omenihu. Now, linebacker, I have Bernardrick McKinney guaranteed a spot, Zach Cunningham guaranteed a spot, Dylan Cole guaranteed a spot, and even Peter Colombayi guaranteed a spot. Peter Colombayi, he looked good playing. Actually, he looked really good playing special teams. One of our best special teams players, and he can play inside linebacker pretty well. So I think he's guaranteed a spot as well. Now, corner. I think corners, DB in general, that's all the guys back there. You got Jonathan Joseph, who I think is guaranteed a spot. Bradley Roby, who I think is guaranteed a spot. Aaron Colvin, who's guaranteed a spot. Lonnie Johnson, I think is guaranteed a spot. Xavier Crawford, I think is guaranteed a spot. Now, we got Johnson Batamosi. I see him being on the bubble. We added, Cullen Gillespie. We added Lonnie Johnson, Xavier Crawford, who are probably going to end up playing special teams as well. We added some safeties as well that are probably going to play special teams as well. I think Batamosi's on the bubble. He might not make the team. I think if we cut him, we save $2 to $3 million in cap. So we do save a little bit. He was on a 3-year deal, but you already got quite a bit of special teamers, but Johnson Batamosi was brought in last year to straight up be a special teamer because this guy cannot play corner. So maybe he gets cut. Now, another guy that I think doesn't make the team is Jermaine Kelly, 7th round pick from last year, a corner. I see him more as a safety, however, because he is a zone corner. So we want to run man this year, and I don't think Jermaine Kelly fits that. So I think he gets cut. Possibly makes a practice squad, though, because, he is a draft pick, so he could possibly make the team, as a practice squatter, I guess you could say. And then at safety, you got Justin Reed guaranteed a spot. Tashawn Gibson guaranteed a spot. Breann Body Calhoun, kind of safety, nickel corner guy. He's going to make the team. I've been hearing a bunch of good stuff about him. Apparently, he's dominating out there. He's leaving tight windows for quarterbacks to throw, and that's really, really good. However, still early on, like I said earlier, wait till the pads go on. That's when you can really judge these players. OTAs, in my opinion, they're just like walkthroughs. So, yeah. Then you got Jalil Ade and Breann Body Calhoun. Jalil Ade were the two other guys that we brought in who I was talking about earlier when I was talking about Johnson Batamosi about being special teamers. And then I also got AJ Moore, who I think is on the bubble. He plays special teams. He played a little bit last year as a safety in situations where players got hurt. So he could be on the bubble, but I could see him making the team. Then he got at punter Trevor Daniel, kicker Kaimi Fairbairn, and of course he got none other than Mr. John Weeks himself. John Weeks is guaranteed a roster spot. I think the first guy they're going to pencil in on their 53-man roster is John Weeks. John Weeks does everything right. Be more like John Weeks, guys. Be like John Weeks. Everybody wants to be like John Weeks. I wake up every morning and I want to be like John Weeks. John Weeks has been here since 2010. He's the longest tenured Texan. And it shows. The guy just walks around like he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. And I'm really upset that the Texans aren't doing more for John Weeks, John Weeks deserves a Super Bowl. And then here we are getting blown out wild card weekend. That ain't fair for John Weeks. John Weeks does everything for this team. One of the best long snappers to ever do it. Pro Bowl long snapper John Weeks. He's making the team. Book it. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys for today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.